Getting into this it might be the last chapter. Find the Black Swan. And we haven't mentioned this yet, but you've got the Black Swan Group. This is your consulting firm. And quick description of the Black Swan. Black Swan theory tells us that things happen that were previously thought to be impossible or never thought of at all. This is not the same as saying that sometimes things happen against a 1 in a million odds, but rather that things never imagined do come to pass. The idea of the Black Swan was popularized by Nassim Taleb in his best-selling books Fooled by Randomness and The Black Swan. But the term goes back much further. Until the 17th century, people could only imagine white swans because all swans ever seen had possessed white feathers. In the 17th century London, it was common to refer to impossible things as black swans. But then the Dutch explorer William de Vlammen, sorry, people of Holland, went to Western Australia.
Apologize to Holland, didn't you?
Yeah, I did indeed.
Apologies to Holland.
Went to Western Australia in 1697 and saw a black swan. Suddenly, the unthinkable and unthought was real. This is a crucial concept in negotiation. In every negotiation session, there are different kinds of information. There are those things we know, like our counterpart's name and their offer and our experiences from other negotiations. Those are known knowns. There are those things we are certain that exist, but we don't know, like possibility that the other side might get sick and leave us without another counterpart. Those are known unknowns, and they are like poker wild cards. You know they're out there, but you don't know who has them. But most important are those things we don't know that we don't know. Pieces of information we've never imagined that would be game-changing if uncovered. Maybe our counterpart wants the deal to fail because he's leaving for a competitor. These unknown unknowns are black swans. So this is obviously something highly important to you since you named your company the Black Swan. How did you stumble upon this idea?
Well, the idea first, Taleb's book in 2007, A Black Swan, got me thinking about it. I like his stuff. I mean, he's highly in-depth thinker. He's got a writing tone that is not for everybody, but really in-depth. And so I saw that the idea, like the impact of the highly improbable. Well, that's what we did all the time in negotiation. It's a combination of two things. We're going to change ourselves in subtle little ways that the other side is never going to see, and we're going to gain the upper hand. We're going to steer it. We're going to steer the negotiation and to the best possible outcome. Now, that doesn't mean that everything's going to a positive outcome, but you got to recognize what the best possible outcome is. So it's a great metaphor for making tiny little subtle changes in your negotiation approach the other side is never going to see, where you're going to make all the difference. It's completely invisible. And then while you're in the middle of it, there's always stuff that great stuff will fall out of the sky if you let it. The other side's going to say something that works for you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to be softer in a position than you realize. There's going to be pressures on them that you don't understand. Something is always there. And in many cases, the other side doesn't imagine it. And to draw a real fine point on this that a lot of people miss, it's a reason why reading body language to detect deception is almost a waste of time. Because for you to deceive me, you've got to know it's important to have it tell. You have to be consciously covering that up. But a significant amount of the time, you don't even know it's important. So if I'm just looking for tells and not getting you talking, the stuff that you didn't know was important is never going to come out. So what if you're lying? Number one, that doesn't tell me what the truth is. And if we're only focused on what you're hiding, rambling conversation, what might that look like?